Check, check, check. Hello, 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 hello. Hope everyone can hear me all right. Looks like we're all good on my end. What's going on, Braden, Maddie, Yo Gamer, T5, what's going on? Hope the Red Sox re-sign Xander. Michael, it looks like we are going to be talking a lot of Xander Bogaerts tonight, I would assume. What's going on, Craig? Yeah, I think we're all kind of waiting on stuff, you know? We're all waiting on stuff to happen now. Sam Kennedy said moves could be imminent. Hope something happens soon. Yeah, it would be kind of cool if something broke on this live stream. Never happened before. What's up, Pac-Man? What is going on, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. This is my makeshift Band-Aid for those of you who are wondering what was on my finger. Iman becoming a member. I feel like Iman was already Amen. Why are we get these every single time I go live? I got to figure that out, chat. That is my fault. Please ignore those. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight, chat. We got Daniel hinted towards it. We got hopefully imminent moves, at least something in the next couple of days. The Red Sox hinted at maybe Eovaldi or Strahm being the next couple of people to come on to catch a deal, whether that be with us or with someone else. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping I strategically placed this so we're sort of at like, this isn't the technical first night of winter meetings, but everyone's down there. This is the first night. Everyone's together, not formally at least. So I don't know. It could be an interesting night, chat. We'll probably be live for about 2.5 hours, something like that. Yeah, I think Sale will come back 100%. Craig, I hate to break it to you, but the Red Sox are not getting Aaron Judge. The Yankees already offered him, $37.5 million a year, making him the highest paid player in baseball ever on an average annual salary. So we're not going to get Aaron Judge. Daniel, yeah, we're also not getting rid of Chris Sale. He'll be back. What's going on, Jack? The legend. If you're talking about me, Frankie, I appreciate you. What's up? What's up, Koenig? We don't want Aaron Judge. Yeah, the Aaron Judge thing, I don't know. I don't think Aaron Judge is the right fit for the Red Sox. Love this show. Thank you, Michael. Boys, I just heard that Sam Kennedy said the Red Sox were still connected with Xander. Oh, man. I had a heart attack for like 3 hours today. You guys know my stance on. That's like the one player. I'm pretty good about looking at almost every player we have on this team in both an analytical and emotional sense. With Xander, I'm straight up only emotional sense, which is bad on my part for what I'm trying to do here on this channel. But I can't help it. So for 2 hours today, I was shell shocked that Xander Bogaerts cut off communications. Shell shocked, having panic attacks, trying to figure out how do I make a video about this? How do I let everyone know that Xander's no longer interested in the Red Sox without getting blown up, right? And then it comes out that, hey, talks are still going on. I think what a lot of us are realizing kind of for the first time, because I can't remember the last time the Red Sox, or if the Red Sox even ever had a big free agent like this, especially from their own team, be a Scott Boras client, right? We saw this last year with Carlos Correa and the Astros. We saw this with, there's another couple of people. We saw this with their respective teams. It's never happened to us. And with the Red Sox fans already in such a fragile place, that felt like just a very purposeful, let's pour some gas on this fire and see what happens. Although the Padres seem to be pretty in on Xander Bogaerts, which is wild. Yeah, no, there's no point in getting Aaron Judge. Red Sox need bullpen help? Yes, 100%. We should never let Benny go. I think we'll be all right with Benny not on here. Need to get a patch to put on that jersey sleeve back there. Yeah, I'm going to leave mine Mass Mutual free from now on, Dan. Appreciate it, though. Judge isn't worth that kind of money. I think as of right now, with the way that the problem with the free agent market, and I'm seeing a lot of people say this, and they're 100% correct in that the actual value, the monetary value of a player's statistics You're not going to see a player get paid that during free agency this year. It's going to be a lot of overpays. And the reason for that is because the free agent class kind of sucks, especially for position players, right? In the outfield, you really have elite tier players. You have Nimmo and you have Judge. For infielders, you basically just have the 4 shortstops and that's it, right? If you want to make some legitimate improvements to your team, you're going to have to spend more. It's just how the market works. So, yeah, Aaron Judge is not going to be worth over $300 million long term, but that's probably what it's going to take to get him onto a team, especially if they're going to do an 8-year deal, which kind of sucks. Doesn't solve any of the problems we had last year. No. Sleepyheim. No, I don't think so. I mean, you guys got to remember, right? What other team right now is making massive moves? What other team do you guys want to be right now that's making crazy, course altering moves? There isn't one. It's because it's the very first couple of weeks of free agency. Now, if we're sitting here in early February, about to get into spring training, and Heim still hasn't really done anything, then you can be like, okay, Heim, let's wake up a little bit, right? But you're only 2-3 weeks into free agency. Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. What's up, Griffin? Do you think the Red Sox should sign Wilson Contreras? I think it'll be an interesting market for Wilson Contreras. There are a couple of teams who are already really big on Wilson Contreras. The Houston Astros and the St. Louis Cardinals seem to be sort of front runners in the Wilson Contreras sort of bidding war here. That would be insane if the Houston Astros got Contreras, but I mean, the Red Sox should definitely take a look at him, yes, because at the end of the day, right, to trade for a good catcher, like we were talking about with Sean Murphy, yesterday, you're going to need to give up prospects and maybe future talent. For Wilson Contreras, you're just giving up money, which sounds terrible, but when you're looking at it from a business point of view, right, money can be made back. Losing that talent, sometimes it can, and we've seen that before. So I don't know. I think the Red Sox will look into Wilson Contreras. I don't know if they'll truly go in and make a legitimate push. I think they'll look into getting him, see kind of what the market's looking like. Senga to the Red Sox needs to happen. I could see them doing that. Josh, my man, thank you so much for the $1.99 tip. I appreciate you. That means the world. Thank you. Welcome in. Let's get some claps in the chat for Josh. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you. His only message was a pear blushing. Very interesting emote. But again, thank you. Yeah, Josh, that's kind of the narrative right now. I just saw your earlier comment. Yeah. I don't think this, but you could think Bloom didn't plan on bringing back Xander until he saw the big backlash. I think that's exactly what kind of happened here. Okay, I appreciate the claps for Josh. Thank you guys. What's going on, Chris, by the way? I think that's kind of what we saw, Johnny. I think we saw the Red Sox sort of gamble on Xander, either having a really down year and seeing that sort of regression and seeing if they could snag him on a 3-4 year deal, or they were just planning on moving on in general, seeing if, Trevor Story stayed healthy, would they be able to stopgap him and make him available at second base when Meyer comes up? And neither of those things worked out, and so they backed themselves into a corner, and now it's a PR nightmare. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Something did happen, though. Brazier is back. True. Something did happen. Red Sox fans looking for a 10-year Devers extension, and we get a 10-year Mass Mutual deal. Hell yeah. They're not gonna trade for Aaron Judge. I appreciate that a lot, Josh. Thank you for your kind words. The MLB offseason has always been slow and boring. If nothing happens by winter meetings, and don't expect anything until February. I would say something is going to happen during winter meetings. I do think a big piece comes off the board. Who that's going to be, I'm not sure. My best guess would be one of the big pitchers. I think Verlander, DeGrom, or Rodon signs during the winter meetings. And I want to lean towards Jacob DeGrom just because we've heard absolutely nothing So I would like to see him sort of just take main stage here and get that out of the way. But yeah, you're kind of right in that. But I think there's going to be, I think the shortstop market's going to sort of go back to back to back to back to back, right? And I think we're going to see that in the middle of December. I don't think it's going to be towards, I don't think it's going to be towards February. A couple of these guys are in the World Baseball Classic. They may just want to figure out where they're playing in the spring because they want to focus on playing for their country. So I could see a pretty decent amount happening here in the next 3-4 weeks. I don't know if I agree with that, Ryan, but I agree that Devers needs to be signed. Marathon, not a sprint. Yep. Hey Frank, welcome in. Devers has conditioning issues. I don't know if that's entirely true. I don't really know where that narrative started with Devers having conditioning issues. He lost like between 2020 and 2021. He lost like 15 pounds, put on a bunch of muscle. What you're seeing from Devers is just a body type. It's not like Pablo Sandoval was breaking belts at the plate, right? That was a weight issue. Devers isn't a weight issue. He's built like David Ortiz was built. David Ortiz never had a true weight issue. He was just a bulky guy. And so he looked a little bit bigger and he could still perform really well. I think it's just a body type thing. He's not this lean sort of, obviously it's kind of a bad example because he just got busted for steroids, but he's not that lean sort of built like Fernando Tatis lean built, right? He's bigger, right? People aren't going to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and being like, hey dude, you need to lose some weight, right? Because he's just sort of built that way. I think that's the same thing with Devers. I don't really know where the narrative of him being lazy and putting on all this weight came from. I don't get that. Marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. We're not doing this today, Griffin. We're not doing the trade Devers thing. We're not doing that. Not tonight. What player on the current Red Sox roster is going to benefit best from the shift ban? It's going to be Alex Verdugo. Devers will definitely have some benefits from it, but I think Alex Verdugo last year got hosed by the shift so many times. So I think it's going to be Alex Verdugo. I think he's going to have a great year because of that. Yeah, I think DeGrom's the first big pitcher to go. Jose Leclerc has a weird contract. Wonder if Sox can finagle something with Texas that would solve the closer hole. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad one. I mean, there are so many. The good news right now with the Red Sox bullpen situation is that literally every team in baseball has at least one one bullpen arm that could fit into this Red Sox bullpen and make a legitimate improvement because we were so bad, right? If you look around the league, even bad teams like the Detroit Tigers have Fulmer, they have Soto, right? You're looking at the Royals, they have what's his name, Barlow, right? So you've got all these options. The Reds have Alexis Diaz. You have these interesting options throughout the entire league that really, there could be a million different solutions to this Red Sox bullpen problem. In my opinion, it's 99% going to have to come from trades, though, which will be even more interesting because there's simply no way that this relief pitcher market in terms of trades is a low market, right? They're going to have to spend some decent amount of prospects. It'll be the first time we truly see Heim doing something with prospects, at least. Not in general. Heim's done a lot, but I'm saying with legitimate prospects. Saw the Red Sox were very in on Jose Abreu. Yeah, from what I saw, there was a lot on him being like their number one outside of the organization target, which is good and bad, right? Because it means that the Red Sox are legitimately going out there. They're picking guys. The problem is they aren't going out there and picking guys and executing on it. But at the same time, too, I don't know how many of us would be too excited for a Jose Abreu contract for 3 years. What was he making a year? $20 million? That's a lot for what, a 36, 38-year-old player who, not that he had a really bad year, but his power numbers were down. Obviously, most people project it's going to come back. But at the same time, too, you're looking at at minimum, I can't remember if he's 36 or 38. We could probably look that up, but I'm just going to keep going. You're either looking at ending at his 39th season or you're looking at ending at his 42 season, right? So that's a big gap, and that's a lot of different outcomes that could happen. I don't think that's enough money. Morrissey just said that he thinks Murphy will be dealt in the winter meetings, and the Guardians are one of the most active suitors. Yeah, the Guardians have a lot of room to play with. They have the third or fourth best minor league system in baseball ranked right now. It makes sense that they're going out there, and they should be. Sorry, T5. I was just trying to read that. If the Red Sox let Bogaerts walk, who would you want at shortstop? Turner, Swanson, Correa, or Story? I mean, the best solution and the most reasonable solution if Xander does walk is to just have Story be shortstop for a couple of years. I think at the end of the day, right, if you're looking at it from a Red Sox point of view, you don't get Xander back. It's going to make talks with Devers a lot more difficult. You're going to have to pivot your entire game plan right now and try and figure out how you're going to fill that void. The easiest solution is, hey, let's get a couple of bench guys. Let's put Arroyo at second. Let's put Story at shortstop and then figure it out from there. And so I think the answer is Story. What's the deal with Evaldi? He waiting on Bogaerts' decision. If Bogey leaves, he leaves. I don't think so. I don't think he's too. I mean, obviously he cares if Xander's here or not. But I don't think that he's gonna make his decision based solely off of that. Um, I honestly think the Evaldi deal, from everything I'm hearing and everything I'm seeing, that Evaldi is probably going to figure out his contract situation, at least with the Red Sox, this next couple of days in the winter meetings. Apparently, the two guys to look out for these next couple of days are Matt Strahm and Nate Evaldi. So we'll kind of see what happens there. We'll give it time to breathe and see it, and see what happens. That's incorrect. You don't want you want no athletics relievers. You're probably right, but again, there's I'm not saying they need to be staples in the bullpen, but if you're trying to pad up some sort of your bullpen pieces, you could probably look. There's probably one or two relievers on the Athletics who would at least be better than a Ryan Brazier, a Darwinzon Hernandez, a Urias Familia, right? There's probably a couple of guys. Honestly, Evaldi can go. He isn't what he once was, which career-wise, he was average. If he's willing to take number 3 money, I'd say keep him. I don't know. I don't think he's fully past his prime yet. I think he was just injured for a lot of the season. If you look at the actual metrics, his bad season is what we can expect from a good season from Michael Wacha based on statistics alone. And for me, that's enough to at least take a chance. At least take a chance on saying, you know what, we'll give you. And you're right. That number 3 money's probably right where we're sitting between that 11, between that probably $12 to $15 million range, which isn't terrible for a 3 spot. If the Abreu story was true, then we dodged a bullet. I think so. I honestly think they're trying to lock up Devers before Bogey. I don't know if Devers is gonna sign before we find out what happened with Bogey. I don't think he will. Ownership should never sign Trevor Story. He's overrated, only good in Coors, and that money should have gone to Xander. No, I think Trevor Story was an excellent addition. He was just injured. That's all he was. He figured it out in the second half when he came back. We're going to see an entirely different Trevor Story this year, I promise you. Don't think Abreu was worth $20 million. Yeah, it seems to be the general consensus, which is good. Which is a good thing, because I saw some people on social media being like, why aren't the Red Sox should be spending? Like, yes, they should be spending, but they need to be spending smart. And that's been the problem with the Red Sox for a little bit now. And that's why they brought Chaim Bloom in, is to spend and to spend smartly, which is the difference in what we've seen in the past. So, hopefully it's working out so far. Obviously, some key players are being let go here, but it's not anything that I don't know. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I got locked up on words there. Do I think the Red Sox look at Kenley Jansen? I do. I think the Red Sox definitely take a look at Kenley Jansen. I don't know if they push hard for Kenley, but they're definitely going to see what the market looks like for Kenley, because it'd be nice to get Kenley here on a 1-year deal. At least to the, even if he's just here to sort of mentor mentality-wise a Tanner Houck, a John Schreiber, someone like that, and he does pretty well, I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think Scott Boras, agent for Bogarts, is the reason he's not already signed playing the agent game. Of course, yeah. Yeah, Scott Boras is a master at what he does. He's the greatest to ever do it. That's why you sign Scott Boras as your agent, to get the most possible money. And the way he does that is he holds out, he creates storylines, he puts pressure on the team that you want to sign for, he puts pressure on teams you don't want to sign for, raise the prices, and then at the end of the day, you choose, right? That's Scott Boras' MO, and it's insane how well he does it. So yeah, of course it has stuff to do with it. Add Bednar, Fulmer, Lugo, and we got a good pen. I mean, yeah, that'd be fantastic. That's a lot of trades, though. That's 2 trades for pretty decent guys. Bednar's going to be a huge ass, most likely. Fulmer is a free agent, I believe, this year, and Lugo's a free agent. So, yeah, I mean, it could happen. Matt Strom re-signed as a reliever rather than starter. Surely, yeah. From what I've seen, Matt Strom's starting market is non-existent. So, yeah. I don't understand why they would sign Story to a contract like that if they were just planning on letting Bogey and Devers walk. Their moves are so strange. Yeah, you're right. They should have been supplemental moves. What's happening with JD? It doesn't seem like the Red Sox are too interested unless it's really below, sort of market value, I would say, for JD. I haven't really heard anything about him being connected. Think Bogey's gone. We'll see. Story was the best second baseman in baseball. He's on pace for 30 home runs and 21 stolen bases. He's a great player. Preach, Sammy. Preach. Swanson, Story be the best defensive middle infield in baseball. Yeah, defensively it would have been great. There are question marks surrounding Swanson's offensive approach. I don't know. I don't love Swanson to the Red Sox. I think he's I think he's a good player. I think we just I think we could do better. I saw the Phillies re-sign Dave Dombrowski. I'm telling you, I think he's not a good GM. He's the most overrated. I saw the Phillies re-sign Dave Dombrowski. I'm telling you, I think he's not a good GM. Is the most overrated manager. I'm not entirely sure what you mean there, Johnny. Yes, 100%, Jack. The Houston Astros are 1,000,000% trying to create a dynasty if they already haven't. Do you think the Sox will trade for an ace? Yeah, I don't think they trade for a full ace unless they. So people have been talking to me about a Brewers trade where they get Woodruff, or people have mentioned Burns too, and they take on Christian Yelich's contract, which could hypothetically kill 2 birds with one stone. My only problem with these sort of hypothetical trades is just the reality is Chaim Bloom is brought in to sort of move away from taking on bad contracts. Obviously, there are teams that have been successful with that, like the Dodgers, but the Red Sox don't have the Dodgers staff behind it, right? They have some of the best minds in baseball over there, so they're okay taking on these massive contracts to get the player that they want. I don't know if the Red Sox are in that same boat, and I think that's why Chaim Bloom is brought here. So my concern with those hypotheticals is that why would the Red Sox front office hire a guy like Chaim to get rid of these sort of bad contracts, if you will, only for him to go out and for them to approve him trading for a bad contract. So I don't know. I guess we'll kind of see where that lies with them trading for an ace, but I don't think it's going to happen. Need to focus on bullpen help. I agree. Biggest contract I'd give Bogey. It depends on how the contract is structured. I think I would go up to 8 years, but after 6 years, I would want, if you're going to 8 years, I would want a either mutual option or a club option after 6 years. And I want the contract to be mostly front loaded or back loaded. I think I would do front loaded because you have the room now. I would do front loaded now, kind of ease off of it towards the back end of his contract. And if you want to give him those 8 years, that's perfectly fine. But hey, if you're not performing the way we want you to perform after 6, we have an option. That's where I would sit with Xander. I think, the 28 million that you said is right around where I would kind of max out. I would even do, if you really want to get crazy, for the first 3 years of his contract, give him 31 million. And then in the back later half of that contract, give him 25, 26 million, somewhere around there. So it averages out to about 28. I think that could work out too. How much longer do we have to deal with Sale till he's off the books? What is it? 2026, 2024? I forget. Well, we can do this now, chat. I forgot we can do this now. Let's see. I'm trying to go to winter weekend, Griffin. I think it's on the table right now. 2025. We have them until 2025. I think everyone needs to astonishing baseball video game on Steam. See how hard it really is to build a team. It's not easy. You're right, Sammy. Yeah, next year defenses, there are going to be people who are completely exposed for their defensive inability. I don't know. I personally don't know if Xander's going to be fully exposed because it's not like with the shift ban. It's not that you cannot move into different positions based on the hitter. It's that you can't move drastically in different positions, right? And obviously that helped Xander a lot this year with Story over there for when he was healthy, right? But you could still move around. So it's not like he's immobile at shortstop there. And I don't know if that's going to affect him too much, but you're right. Defense is going to be a lot bigger next year. And I wonder if that played into the role of them signing Trevor Story. I see what you mean, T5. Yeah. I wasn't saying I wasn't saying that you thought that. I was just saying that, I never really understood that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. I think by the end of Dave Dombrowski's tenure, whatever, with his time with the Phillies, it's going to be interesting what their organization looks like and where they go. I wouldn't be shocked if they, I'd be shocked if they got two and won a World Series in that time. But I wonder what it's going to look like in the future. I don't really think the patches are that big of a deal, to be honest with you. Senga could be ace. That's the nearest option to the high-profile starting pitchers this offseason. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's fully ace material yet. It depends on kind of how he looks when he comes over. But yeah, if you're looking for the Red Sox to pull an ace move, that's gonna be it. Josh, it's not so much let's build up the farm to, bring these prospects up and see kind of where they end and like see where our team ends up because of these prospects. Obviously that's a part of it, but a lot of what teams do, especially good teams with great farm systems, is they use them for chips to get good players, right? So the reason you build up a farm system is not so much so that like, hey, we want all of this talent at our major league level soon. Obviously, that's a part of it, but you want to be able to use those chips and say you want a closer, say you want a right field, outfield power bat, right? You want a guy like that who's major league ready, who's capable. If you have a strong farm system, you have the ability to go out and get one of those people without sort of immobilizing yourself in the future to make other moves like that. So that's the reason you build up a big farm system. You're right. Only 10% of minor leaguers make it to the MLB, and only about 5% of those guys will play more than 1.5 years in the MLB and be an everyday player. So the chances that our great farm system, all of them end up as good players, very, very small. But the chances you can use those guys and get players who can perform at the big league level, now that's a different story. So that's why you go out and you make such a big deal about farm systems. You just bought a ticket for your birthday? That's awesome, Griffin. I really want to go. I would love to see some of you guys there. I'd love to meet some of the players. I gotta figure it out. I'd love to meet up in person too, Griffin. Is it important to emphasize that the shift is restricted rather than outright banned? Yeah, it's very important to say that. Do I have the C's on? No, I can't get that in here. I only pay for Nesson. Do you want Bogaerts back? I would kill to have Xander Bogaerts back on this team, yes. That's a hill I'm willing to die on. I'm sorry, I'm just reading what was that a SpongeBob references message here. Yeah, I could see the Rays are always pretty good about being at the forefront of different stuff. So yeah, I could see the Rays doing something like that. Don't forget the Phillies were very, very shaken and inconsistent this year. They went to the World Series. I knew they had zero chance. Yeah, I don't know. The Phillies will be an interesting team to watch for years to come. It depends on how they go about it. If they're smart and do stuff like that. Just wait until we start seeing more patches. Yeah. It'll be interesting how that goes. I hope they limit it to one or two. Great farm system equals great trades. Yep. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to, and that's what you need. Yeah, Johnny. You know who. Michael Brantley. Is that who we're going back to? That's the reason the Astros won 10 last games. But I agree. Yeah, the Astros have no holes right now. Them and the Dodgers. The only difference is the Dodgers, not that they bought everyone, but it just doesn't seem like that team meshes very well. They get to the postseason. There's no personality right now, which is interesting. Because it's not all about pitching. It's you have to make a well-rounded team, or it's just not going to work out. So I don't know. Pitching definitely needs to be at the top here, but I don't think that they focus fully on pitching. Yeah, SpongeBob. I don't know. I think I think he's trying to do that. It just takes time to build up such a deep bullpen like the Rays have. Do I collect baseball cards? Yeah, those. These are all my. These are all my. Those are all my like Red Sox cards. I got little autograph Xander, Devers, Nick York. I really like that one. I got Story. But yeah, I collect a lot of too much baseball cards. I collect too much baseball cards. I have Ness and NBC Boston, NBC Philly just for the Eagles. Yeah, I'm so bad about that stuff. If I watch a Celtics game, it's not on a watchable website that people should be going on. Did I see Zach Gallen's tweet? Yeah, I did. I don't know what it means though. There are rumors that the Diamondbacks run on Xander. Please. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Zach Gallen's tweet means. I assume it's just sort of has to do with literally nothing. Maybe like a college football game or something. I don't know. Crazy how the Dodgers traded Keeper Louise and Josiah Gray for Trey and Max rentals and still have a stacked farm. Yeah, I mean that's what you kind of want to get to. That's the perfect example, right? Keeper Louise, not a terrible player. Josiah Gray did not work out at all, but that's exactly what you want right there. Would it be a fair trade to see Bogaerts go, but Judge come in? I mean, technically, yeah. Eric, I thought you were banned. Hello, Eric. Welcome into the stream where Eric tries to give Corbin an ulcer. I have a couple thousand baseball cards. Yeah, I'm getting close. It's ridiculous. I'm so bad with that. But these are my prized possessions right here. Those are the ones I love. I have a Garrett Whitlock one that I bought for $3. I couldn't believe Garrett Whitlock had one. I actually bought this. See if I can find it real quick. I got this nice little Shohei Otani short print for like $10. That's not the one I wanted to show you. I found it. Did I find it? See now I'm just looking at their baseball cards. I have a bunch of Devers baseball cards. Chipper Jones rookie card. What did I do with it? I had a Christian Arroyo autograph rookie card. I had one. I swear. It's somewhere. Either way. I bought a Christian Royal rookie card that was autographed, numbered to like 99 for like $2. It was crazy. I don't know where it went, chat. I'll show it to you if you find it. I'll buy you Nesson. I appreciate the offer. I think I got one. Imagine Bogarts on the Diamondbacks. Yeah, Griffin just said that too. Don't count out the D-backs. Oh god. If Xander leaves, I want him to leave to a competitive team. I don't want Xander to waste away at it, like a Chris Bryant type signing or a Javi Baez type signing. Oh, man. That would suck. Dodgers feel like they need a clubhouse guy. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Dodgers. They have everything, but it's just not coming together. Well done on the Whitlock card. Yeah, I know. I was very proud of the Whitlock card. You guys see all the signed game news jerseys up for option? I actually almost bid on a Xander autograph ball. It was like $150. I think it's up to like $400 now, so I'm kind of glad. Did I ever get the Ted Williams card? No, I'm still looking for the right one. I want one that's like, I don't know. There's a very specific one I want. It's when he's a little bit older. It's got the red background. I believe it's 1950 something, 56 maybe. It's a beautiful card. I'm looking for that. I'm on mute. Test. Can you guys hear me? Give a thumbs up if you can hear me. Hello? Oh. You guys can hear me? Check. It says it's picking up the audio. I'm going to wait patiently until someone gives me a thumbs up. I can hear you. Okay, we're good. Thank you. All right, Sammy, let's get to what your trade proposal was. Verdugo and Walter to the White Sox for Luis Robert. Kind of makes sense. Chicago needs a left-handed pitcher. Yeah, I mean, Robert has a ton of upside. You're right. If that trade happened, I love Doogie. I love Doogie a lot. But I would be very excited to get Luis Robert on this team. 100%. Had a little bit of, what did he have? A little bit of a down year? Was he injured in 2022? I can't remember. All I remember is he didn't have a fantastic year. So yeah, I'd be down with that. I think Walter, Sammy, I think Walter's going to be a guy who gets shopped a lot. A lot. I bet a Ted Williams frozen head card would count for a lot. Who do I think the Red Sox will sign in December? Oh, he was kidding. Oh. I think we'll get an answer to the Xander Bogaerts saga in December. I think the Red Sox will sign, we'll say, 2 relievers in December, and I think we get an answer on Nate Eovaldi in December as well. So I think there'll be a decent amount of stuff. Will the Red Sox try and get Aaron Judge? I think they'll be interested in Aaron Judge. I don't think they'll actually make a push to get Aaron Judge. X to the Padres and then the Sox trade for Tatis. That would be insane. I just hope that they sign Devers, but it honestly doesn't feel good. Yeah, I don't know. People were kind of saying something like Devers, you know, we're not going to get into that, actually. Is Devers a goner? I wouldn't say he's a goner yet at all. You don't care much about Xander? It's interesting. You and iTalk Studios should collab. I'd love to collab with iTalk Studios. So, yeah, if he's here, hit me up. Love to do something. Good luck on the search. Thanks. Yeah, I look about every day. Did I see Garrett Whitlock change his number? Yeah, Garrett Whitlock. literally one of the nicest people in baseball. It's insane. Just hearing him talk is just crazy. Everything that comes out of his mouth is just so polite and nice. I can't imagine that dude, like, when he gets on the mound, he just very clearly a very fierce competitor, wants to get you out. No emotion, just down to business, game time. But off the field, seems like he's just a quiet dude who just goes about his business, is very extremely polite. It's awesome. Let me see. Where were we? I have a couple thousand baseball cards. Yeah, I'm up there too. Just imagine an outfield of Verdugo, Robert, and Reynolds. That would be nuts. That would be so nuts. Do you think we might be able to sign DeGrom? No. I don't think the Red Sox would want to sign DeGrom. There's too many question marks, right? Like I said when we were talking about, in my prediction video, on the rotation. We were talking about some possible. Oh no, wait, what video was that? What video was I talking about there? Oh, when we were talking about Corey Kluber and Andrew Heaney. I talked about sort of the Red Sox mentality. I would be shocked if they were in on a guy like DeGrom, who just has so many question marks because of the Chris Sale contract. It just seems right off the bat as something that could bite them, and I don't think they'd be in on that. Isn't Judge with the Giants right now? Yeah. Devers is a goner if Xander doesn't resign. Xander's his ice cream plug. Yeah. Did I see Peter Gammon's Bogaerts comment? Yeah, it was immediately shut down. Well, not immediately. It was like 3 hours after, but yeah, trust me, I saw that. Whitlock seems so wholesome. Yeah. Is Wong going to be the starting catcher, or what's going on with him? I think if we're going to end up with Maguire-Wong tandem, I think Maguire takes more of the catching duties. He had a better second half, and I think the Red Sox see more potential in him than Wong. So if we don't end up bringing anyone in for the catcher position, I think we end up going with Maguire as the starting catcher and Wong sort of as the backup. If Xander and Devers leave, how are the Red Sox going to replace them? They simply aren't. They just simply are not going to replace two people like that. And it's a huge PR thing, too, because even if you go out and say you get Luis Robert and he becomes an absolute stud for the Red Sox, say you trade for Corbin Burns, right? You're still going to have throughout Casas's entire years leading up to arbitration, Bayo's entire years leading up to arbitration. It's always going to be that narrative of, hey, you didn't sign Xander, you didn't sign Mookie, you didn't sign Devers. What makes anyone think that you're going to be able to retain any of this homegrown talent from this incredible farm system you built? So it's just, I mean, that's going to be a huge thing. So the simple answer to that, Mystic, is they're just simply not going to be able to replace him. I really want to meet Whitty next. Should get you an interview, Corbin. If you could get me a Garrett Whitlock interview, I'd be in debt to you forever. Would a Sammy Sosa trade put us over the top this year? Yeah, good guy, a very clean baseball player. A lot of potential there with Sammy Sosa in the power department. I think that would make us a pretty immediate World Series contender. Trade for Pablo Lopez, include a reliever maybe. That'd be nice. Giants open at the Yankees next year. That ticket will be gold if San Fran gets them. I mean, that'd be insane if they get it. Going into 2022, I think a lot of people had higher expectations for the season. At least I did. What do you think happened, and what can we do in the future to avoid a disappointing season like this? Marvin, I think the biggest problem with the 2022 team was simply injuries, right? There were a lot of injuries. You're talking about Trevor Story only playing 99 games, everything that happened with Chris Sale, our entire pitching rotation, right? But at the same time, too, there were a lot of outside factors that affected the 2022 season. Going into it, there were so many different just contract situations and question marks with this Red Sox team that didn't feel like this team was fully put together. And I think that was a big part of as to why the Red Sox got off to a slow start, why they were never able to put themselves up. I think, too, at the same time, the Red Sox didn't really do anything to prepare depth-wise for injuries. I also don't think that the Red Sox did enough in general, even if this team stayed healthy on the pitching side of things, to put out a legitimate contending team. So going forward, the answer to that is super simple. You need to be proactive instead of reactive, which is what the Red Sox were in 2022. They were reactive, and it just did not work. You need to be proactive. You need to get depth in your pitching rotation. You need to get some legitimate studs in your bullpen, because at some point, your bullpen's going to get tired and guys are going to regress. You're going to need to get your team all on one page and have a sort of unity in that Red Sox clubhouse, right? When we look at all the Red Sox World Series teams, 04, 07, 13, and 18, there was something that pulled them together. 2004 was a band of misfits, right? The idiots, cowboy up, that sort of stuff happened in the locker room. It banded them together, and they were able to push through and break an 86-year curse. 2007, that team was just insane, but they also had a lot of guys who were not towards the end of their careers, but in a sort of situation with Mike Lowell, with Kevin Youkilis, right? With guys who were not aging a ton, but and JD Drew's another one too. And they came together. They were all like-minded. They knew that, hey, we're probably not going to be on the Red Sox for a super long period of time. Let's go out and do this thing. 13, obviously, they rallied behind the tragedy that happened in Boston. 2018, you had a group of kids who, from 2016 on, were scrutinizing the media because it was like, well, maybe this young core the Red Sox bank so heavily on simply can't do it. And that's a big problem that we've had for a while. We've had a big problem with not being able to rally around something. 2021 felt like they were able to rally around something, but the pieces just weren't quite there. So that was a long-winded way of saying that the Red Sox just simply were reactive instead of proactive in 2021. Devers is not replaceable, Griffin. Tell me. You look into that interview, I appreciate it, but tell me why you believe Devers is a replaceable player. He's just simply not. There are maybe 10 other players in all of baseball who can hit as well as Rafael Devers can. It's not something you come across every single day. It's simply not. What will it take to get Corbin Burnes or Bieber? To get Corbin Burnes, it would probably be a starting with Bayo, Mayer, or Casas, and you'd have to take on Christian Yelich's contract. For Bieber, it's going to have to take a lot more, I think. Excuse me, because you can't take on a contract with the Guardians because they don't have any terrible contracts. Could I beat Fuzzy in a boxing match? I don't think so. Do I think we're going to re-sign Christian Vasquez? I think we'll look into it a little bit. I don't think we'll be too hot on his trail. I think if he falls into our lap, great. I don't think they look up to it. They're looking forward to re-signing Vasquez now. That would be wild. Johnny, that would be absolutely insane. 2022 injury to Chris Sale. Everything was built around his return. It fell apart. Yeah. Breaking news. Xander signed somewhere else. Devers leaves next year. Team changes its name to the Liverpool Rays. Luckily, the Red Sox are selling Liverpool. Do the Pats win tomorrow? I hope so. That'd be awesome. 2021, they rallied around being the underdogs when they all knew they were good hitters. Yeah. I mean, there was always something to rally behind. Think Mookie ever comes back? No. I think that bridge is burned. I'm sorry, not replaceable. He's recreatable. Maybe, but recreatable in the next 10 years, possibly, Griffin. But do you want to sit around and wait and hope that you can recreate Rafael Devers and his approach at the plate and, the personality behind him and, all that stuff? Or do you just want to sign him now, right? That's sort of the conundrum that's where the divide in fans is, where hey, let's just sign the guys now, or hey, let's look forward and try and figure out where I lost my train of thought. But you know what I'm saying. Sorry. What do I think about the young D-back outfielders? They are fantastic. I would love to get one of the Red Diamondbacks outfielders. Do I think Casas is going to be good and a potential star for the Red Sox? Yeah. I think so for sure. His approach was too good. His approach to the play was too good. The power behind him was too good. I think there's a lot going on now. A lot of good stuff going on with Tristan Casas, and I think there's a lot of room for him to grow and a lot of potential there with Tristan Casas. It all kind of depends on if he can stay healthy. He's had a lot of injuries so far. How about trading for Brian Reynolds? Definitely on the table for sure. I could see the Red Sox definitely making a decent push for Brian Reynolds. Whether or not they'll actually pony up and pay for him is a different question. I would venture to say no, because the asking price for Brian Reynolds is going to be absurd. Under over 10 starts for Chris Sale in 2023. I would give it the over. I hate the Bills. Yeah, a lot of Pats Nation hates the Bills. I would have faith in myself. You've seen my work. All right, Griffin. If you were in charge, maybe I'd have faith that there's another Rafael Devers that we could pluck out of the woodwork. But because you are not in charge, no, I don't think that you can easily replace Devers or recreate Devers within the next 10 years, and that's the problem. Rays North, no, not the Rays North yet. If the Rays go out and they sign Jacob deGrom, maybe. Everyone see that? I definitely agree that the Red Sox lacked chemistry this year, and that's what separates the Red Sox from other teams. Where do you think the Red Sox can find new chemistry for next year? I think, honestly, the simple answer is to really show this team that you care about them, that you care about wanting them to be together and create that camaraderie, and not just, because at the end of the day, right, we as baseball fans, especially as baseball fans, out of every other sport, are super analytical based, right? And obviously every other sport's the same way. And at the end of the day, analytics is how you prove your worth to a team and to a fan base. But there's also that second layer behind that sort of just strict analytical stuff. And that's the guys in the clubhouse being human beings and being able to connect with one another. We just went over how every single World Series team had camaraderie, had that ability to come together and focus on one main goal. And it's just sort of that's how you fix it. You give the team a chance to build that camaraderie. And I think it starts with bringing back guys like Xander, re-signing or extending Devers, and show this team, hey, listen, we believe in our core. Let's build around these guys, and you guys rally behind the players that we believe are the leaders of this Boston Red Sox team. I think that's how it starts. Should the Red Sox get Kyle Schwarber? I don't think it's going to happen, considering it's on a 6-year deal? My grandpa and I are diehard Red Sox fan, and we were talking about Casas and how it took him a while to come up, and then the day after he got called up. That's wild. That's pretty cool, though. Did I see that Brady might come back to the Pats? It would be really cool if Brady came back one more year to the Patriots and then retired. If I had to subscribe to one Red Sox player's OnlyFans, who would it be? If they re-sign Xander. If not, Kike Hernandez. Should the Red Sox go after Rodon? I would love the Red Sox to go after Rodon. I think he'd be a big splash. I think he'd prove to a lot of people that, hey, we're here to play. We're not messing around this offseason. I don't think they actually do it. I think that they're avoiding players with qualifying offers attached and big money starting pitchers, because they're nervous about starting pitcher contracts. Excuse me. They're nervous about starting pitching contracts because of what happened with Chris Sale, because of kind of how Nate Eovaldi's ended up. And so they're going to try and focus on building depth in a rotation as opposed to just having a 1-2 punch, which could be good, could be bad. It just depends on how you work it out. With more games in a season than any other sport, camaraderie is more important than baseball than any other sport. Yeah, 100%. What's my favorite seat at Fenway? Well, that's a good question. There's I don't really have like a favorite seat. I usually go into the first base side grandstands. I like being sort of in that, what is that? If that's 10, 11, 12, like the 13 area. I also like the Sam Adams standing room deck where you've got the sort of table you can move around a little bit. I like that one too. So there's sort of where I'm at with those. I think I'd go Sam Adams deck personally, Kermit. Do the Red Sox go after Sean Murphy from the A's? Maybe. I think they'll look at it for sure. What is Jeter Downs' future? I think Jeter Downs ends up in a trade package somewhere, or he ends up as sort of our quadruple A depth player. I don't think he ever ends up as a legitimate core piece of this Red Sox team. I just don't think there's a lot of potential there with Downs. Sox can't sign. Let me see here. The thing is, we are messing around this offseason. Again, this is one of those things where I don't understand where that narrative came from. What other team right now is buckling down and signing a ton of guys? There's not a single team doing that, because you have to let the market shape out a little bit. You have to figure out what people are worth before you dive in. I think they're going to try and go for underrated players like Brandon Nimmo, who I don't think they'll sign, but like someone who will go under the radar, not like Judge or DeGrom. Yeah, I would assume they're not in on the super big guys. I think you're right. I'm trying to think. I think Brandon Nimmo will be a guy who has a big market, though. I think he'll have a big market. I do think the Red Sox will be a part of that market. I think they'll look into it for sure. Ideal lineup going into next year. All right, let me think. Let me get Brian Reynolds lead off. Let me get Devers 2. Let me get Xander 3. Let me get Story 4. Let me get Doogie 5. Let me get Mitch Haniger 6. Who am I missing? First base, Casas 7. 8. We'll go McGuire. 8. We'll go Sean Murphy. I mean, an ideal world, right? This is ideal world. We'll go Sean Murphy. And at 9, who am I missing? Kike. USA or Netherlands Saturday? USA, baby. I want to see them make a run. That'd be cool. That Iran game was crazy. What are the realistic starting pitchers that you see the Red Sox get in this offseason? So I don't think it's going to be anyone crazy. Like I said in my prediction video, I do think they make a legitimate push to get Kodai. Is it Kodai or Kodai? I'm going to say Kodai Senga here. I think he'd be perfect fit for this Red Sox team. I think that's a legitimate push they make. I think they do bring back Nate Eovaldi. And then if they even bother going out, yeah. If they do end up going out, it'll be for a lower end guy like Kluber, like Heaney, like I'm trying to think of other guys that are on the market right now. Kodai. Okay. Yeah, I think they'll take a look at Kodai Senga. I'm sold. Good lineup. I just don't think. No, yeah, I don't. That was my perfect world. I don't think. I don't think they actually go out and they trade for either Sean Murphy or Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds to me is a little bit more realistic because you can. There is a possibility of you killing 2 birds with 1 stone, getting Reynolds and Bednar. It just sort of depends on what the Red Sox are willing to give up. I would love to see them go out and trade, and this kind of sucks to say, but I would be excited if they brought in those crazy talents and were like, we are going to pick out, 4, maybe 3, 4, 5, somewhere around there of our top 10 guys. And those are the guys that are untouchable, but everyone else in that top 10, let's play ball. Let's see if we can get something with guys that we don't think talent evaluation wise are going to have huge impacts on this Red Sox team, because that's how you use the top 10 prospects in your farm system. For the most part, those top 10 prospects, 2, 3, 4 of those guys are actually going to make this Red Sox team. Everyone else should have the ability to be shipped and brought in and bring in legitimate MLB ready talent. What's up, Eamon? We'll get there with the name. If they just get Senga, they don't need anyone else. Sale, Senga, Whitlock, Bayo, and Pavetta. I think you add one more into that, make it a 6-man rotation, we'd be good to go. Yeah, to me, my ideal trade this offseason, the big one I would love to see is the Red Sox getting Reynolds and Bednar. I think that would be perfect. So in Japanese, there's no such thing as short versus long vowels. Every vowel is pronounced the same way every time. I is always E, like Ichiro or Okajima. Ah. So it's Kodai. Kodai? 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 You got me. I think you confused me more, SpongeBob. I appreciate the help, but I think you're confusing me more. That's crazy, Big Jay. That's wild. I would love to. I want to get some Red Sox player content on here, which is why I really want to go to winter weekend. I just got to figure out the timing and the cost of everything. 6-man just because Whitlock and Sale health. I think 6-man just because of what happened last year. I don't even think it's. I mean, yes, obviously the Sale health, obviously the Paxton issue, obviously the Whitlock and Bayo's gonna have inning limits. But I just think they're going to try their best to avoid having a situation where 4 out of our 5 starters are sitting on the IL. If you can have a 6-man rotation, they can pitch more innings into games. You can use them every 6 days. So you're giving them more rest in between starts for guys, especially guys coming off the IL. That's a great thing. So I think I think the 6-man rotation, in my opinion, is what the Red Sox need to do, at least for a year, until they can get everyone sort of figured out. Call you JB for short. Perfect. Thank you. Kodai. Kodai. Okay. What would a trade for Brian Reynolds look like? Oof. Man, it's gonna be tough to get him here, Trevor. Also, welcome him, man. I think you're probably looking at a package of Maeda York would definitely get the conversation stirring pretty well. I think both of those guys have a huge upside. The Pirates really need legitimate pitching talent. So I think you can get the conversation started with that. If you can round it out with a Duran or a Dahlbeck, that's even better. You can free up some roster space. So ideally, Trevor, I think that you're looking at a package of Maeda, York, we'll say Dahlbeck, just to throw him in there. I think Heim trade for Burns or Bieber in the coming week. That would be nuts. I appreciate your optimism, Ryan. I would love that. I don't understand Paxton being back. We beat the crap out of him when he was with the Yanks. We didn't really have a choice. He opted in, you know. They declined it. They declined his his player option, and he opted in, so they didn't really have a choice as to whether or not he came back. I could see them signing Chad Green or Archie Bradley. Chad Green's a definite option, Drew. I think Chad Green could be on the table for sure. What's your take on Johnny Cueto? 335, 150 innings. I think Johnny Cueto could be a fun one to have. Yeah. I think that was a guy who was mentioned pretty early on in Red Sox rumors, and I think they could go after a guy like Johnny Cueto. The problem is, again, it's another guy with a lot of question marks. I would love for the Red Sox to get a guy who maybe it doesn't have the greatest statistics in the world, maybe a 4 or 5 caliber type starting pitcher, but a guy who we can actually sit back and say, yeah, we know what we're getting from this guy. And I don't know if Johnny Cueto is that guy. I don't know. I think they'll definitely take a look, though. It is kind of cool to see, especially not Zach Greinke is probably a Hall of Fame pitcher, but it is kind of cool to see these guys who have these long, illustrious careers be like, okay, I want to sort of come back to where it all began. Johnny Cueto going back to the Reds, Zach Greinke going back to the Royals, Albert Pujols going back to the Cardinals. I think that's cool. Well, we can't say that yet, AR. We're still only 3 weeks in. What are the chances of picking up Reyes from the Cards? I mean, he's a free agent now, so anything could happen. I think the Red Sox are looking heavy into Reyes. I would put the chances of picking him up, the Red Sox chances, pretty high. I think them actually doing it, I'd put it 50-50. I don't know if they're going to want to take a chance. I don't know what we're missing, why the Cardinals would non-tender him so quickly after having such a great 2021. I don't know. Giants are looking to splurge heavy. Yeah, if the Giants get who they want to get, they are going to be insane. You're 100% correct. You can make the trip to Phoenix for the World Baseball Classic to watch in the U.S. I'm going to Miami to see my country of Dominican Republic. That's going to be really, really cool. No, I can't afford to go down to Phoenix. I would love to. I can't afford to go down, unfortunately. So I'll be watching it on TV. We'll probably go live for a couple of those games. The USA game specifically, because I think there's a couple of really interesting teams. I would love if the USA played the Dominican Republic, that would be a fun one to go live for. Just joining the stream. What's up, Joseph? Red Sox need to do something. They need to quit sitting back. Last year took them to the last minute. Well, I mean, part of that too, Joe, is because of the fact that there was a lockout, right? A lot of the teams waited till the last minute. They wanted to see how the lockout shaped up, what the new rules and regulations were, all that stuff before before they figured it out. So I give it a little bit of time. This is the Red Sox offseason. I'm sorry, this is the MLB offseason. Everything happens at half the speed that every other offseason does. We've been so used to having such crazy offseason. 2020 into 2021 was crazy because of what was going to happen with COVID. 2021 into 2022, obviously you had the lockout, so you had a really short period of time to sign people, so it looked like everything was happening so quickly. But then you look at that and everything that happened right after the lockout ended, and you spread that out over November, December, January, February, and into late March. That's 5 months for stuff to happen. It's not gonna be every single day there's something happening. Didn't Cueto start the year late too? Yeah. I think he was injured a little bit at the beginning of the year. I think you're right. It would be great. I could be, he could be a great pickup, but I don't know. I don't know if the Red Sox want to do that. Zips came out with the 2023 projections. Sox with Bogaerts are at 82 wins. If we end up in the cellar again, will Henry dump Bloom? Yes. I don't. I think regardless, if we start the year in a PR disaster, you don't get a Devers extension, you lose Xander. I think Chaim Bloom's done either way. He's going to be used as a scapegoat, which is unfortunate because I think Chaim Bloom needs time. And you can't afford that in a big market like Boston. And if the, if, did you hear that? My house is falling apart. You want the Red Sox to get another knuckleballer? That'd be cool. Returning to your roots is always an interesting story. Yeah, I love the romantic side of baseball, chat. I'm such a sucker for it. I am. What's my day job? I'm not going to tell you what my day job is just because I don't want... I don't want that out there. But I work in sales, so I do sales from 9 to 5. Yeah, Daniel, I think Correa is probably, in all honesty, Correa is one of the, obviously the most interesting one to us is Xander, but the most interesting one in terms of where they will end up to me is Carlos Correa, because the Twins are on him heavy, but at the end of the day, right? I don't know what Trey Turner and Dansby Swanson want in free agency, whether that's to be competitive and paid well, or if that's to just be paid the most amount of money. But for Correa, it seems as though he just wants to get paid the most amount of money. He wants a big deal. He wants that sort of status of being one of the highest paid shortstop in baseball. So in my opinion, that's a really interesting one. You just made me look up Greinke's stats. 118 Ks away from 3,000. Yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer. Nimmo or Haniger for the Red Sox? I would go Haniger. I think he's a cheaper option. I think he adds power that's been missing for the Red Sox. And I think there's less of a market for him. Is Eduardo Rodriguez intriguing for you? I wouldn't be down with a Also, Gothy, are you related to a Cam by any chance? But no, I'm good on Eduardo Rodriguez. Do you think banning the shift was a good idea? In my opinion, it was completely necessary. Yeah, I think some, and again, the shift wasn't banned; it was just regulated. I think some regulation of the shift makes a lot of sense. Bloom's only big move was Story since he's been here. Bloom's already won a World Series for the Dodgers since he's been here. Here's the problem with Bloom, and in my opinion, I'm kind of down the middle on where I land with my satisfaction. I've been talking for too long. my satisfaction with Chaim Bloom, I'm kind of dead in the middle, right? There's been some good trades and some good moves. There have been some really bad trades and some really bad moves. But you got to look at Chaim Bloom's period of time with the Red Sox, right? Came in 2019 and immediately told by owners, look, we're not getting a deal done with Mookie, find a trade for him, right? Then you get the 2020 season, which you get smacked with COVID. You're a limited season. You're dealing with guys who don't want to play. You're dealing with guys who can't really perform with less preparation time and all that stuff. Then you get to 2021, he has a great year and everything sort of goes his way with all the moves he made. Then 2022, it's the exact opposite. Every move he made seemed to bite him in the ass. So in my opinion, that puts him dead down the middle. This 2023 season is going to sway him either towards satisfied or not satisfied, in my opinion. He's a teacher. Yeah, I am secretly favorite pitch. Do I think the Red Sox win the 2023 World Series? Yeah, I'd love them to. I think yeah, you know what? They're going to win the 2023 World Series in 6 games. Why is Bloom scared to spend money that isn't his? Because he's not allowed to spend money that isn't his. Every decision that Chaim Bloom made or wants to make has to be approved by the front office. The Boston Red Sox do not give Chaim Bloom, say, the $83 million that's on the free books right now, right? That's not tied to anybody and say, go. No. That's not how that works, right? Every decision Chaim Bloom makes has to be approved by the front office. If they don't approve it, Chaim Bloom can't do it. Chaim Bloom is the face of the front office, but he's not the front office. Does that make sense? So the answer to your question, AR, is that he's not scared. He just can't. How big of a role do you think BOH has in the front office? I feel he gets no attention in what happens. He's just there. Yeah. It does feel like that. I think he's more so just an advisor to Chaim Bloom. I think that's sort of what his role boils down to. He's just sort of an advisor. And I think that's sort of where he stays. 2012, I wanted an iPod for Christmas. Very random. iPod Touch, or what was the iPod Nano? Oh, man, I love the iPod Nano. I loved it. I was so in. I used to get an iPod Nano like every year. Sammy goes, I thought you were muted, but actually my laptop broke. You're from Canada? Ah, I thought you knew him. That was one of my best friends growing up. David Bednar would be sweet. Yeah, that is my ideal trade going into 2023 is Brian Reynolds and David Bednar. We need to sign the Astros GM they didn't keep. I'm telling you, give Chaim Bloom the 2023 offseason. If he doesn't do well, fine. Let's pitchforks. Let's riot, right? Do you have confidence at how closing or feel like we need someone different? That's a great question, Robbie, because I think it depends on how the Red Sox go about. I'm gonna keep my hat off for a second. Although, if you guys want a hat like this, it is in the link in my store right now. I think, Robbie, I think it depends on how the Red Sox go about making Tanner Houck the closer, if that makes sense, right? If you know how like recently they were like, look, Garrett Whitlock is our starting pitcher. If they go to Houck, I don't know, January, and they say, look, Tanner, we loved what you did out of the bullpen in late innings. You are our closer. Here's how you're supposed to prepare to become a closer. We're going to bring in Mike Timlin and Keith Folk to kind of, be your mentors in this, because you can do that, right? David Ortiz is an advisor. Pedro Martinez is an advisor. You have these amazing resources. Go out and say, look, Keith, Is there any way you can come back, talk to Tanner Houck a little bit, right? If you do that, yes, great. That would be fantastic. If not, yeah, I think you do need someone different in there. It all depends on how you go about it. I agree, SpongeBob. I think that's the biggest thing. The Chris Sale contract is holding us back. Yeah, I wouldn't say fully holding us back, but yeah, it definitely doesn't help. I'm joining late. I missed the Xander talk. Oh, we can always talk Xander. All you got to do is ask the question. I'm not going to do it unprompted because I know you guys are sick of me unpromptingly throwing up Xander. But if you guys want to talk about him, we can talk about him. Do I see Varitek as a Red Sox manager? If you do you see him as a good manager? I think yeah. I think eventually. I mean, Varitek has said in the past that he would like to one day manage the Boston Red Sox. But he's also very content in the role. My best guess is that who's the name? What's the name of the guy who just took over the bench role? Victor Robles? Is it Victor? No. Something Vasquez, right? Someone remember for me. What's the name of the guy that just named bench coach? And then I'll continue my rant. Bloom is always interested in everything, but nothing happens. He's interested in signing people. Again, you got to look at AR. You got to look at you got to look at the situation he's been in before. Again, I'm not saying that Ramon Vasquez. Thank you, Daniel. All right, back to that, and then I will go back to you, AR. Ramon Vasquez being called up to that sort of bench role. My best guess, and I don't know this for sure, so don't take this at sort of as fact. But my best guess is that the Red Sox went to Jason Varitek and offered him that position because the team loves Jason Varitek. But from what Captain Varitek has said on social media is that he's content in the position that he's in. So in my opinion, I don't know if we're going to see Varitek in that managerial role or vying for a managerial role in the near future. I think there's a possibility later. I don't think that. I don't think so. They're going to bring Koji out of retirement and give Houck some competition. That'd be insane. Darwin's and Hernandez should be a starter, immediately followed by Hernandez should be out of the MLB. What is a realistic expectation? Mets looking to trade for Devers. The Mets are not looking to trade for Devers. That was just a rumor. That was more so just a Mets, sort of exactly what I'm doing right now. A Mets me going out there and saying this could be an interesting package if the Mets wanted to trade for Devers, and it blew up. It wasn't that the Mets publicly said we're going to try and trade for Devers. It was a fan that was making content. What is a realistic expectation for Whitlock starting? You think we get 20 plus starts? Yeah, I think we should get 20 plus starts. Would like to see Varitek as a manager, but Core is a top 3 manager in baseball. True. I think they'd like to use Barnes as a closer again and have Houck as an ace in the hole, multi-inning, high-leverage reliever. It remains to be seen if Barnes... Yeah, that would be insane. That's a pretty good insight there, Jack. I think you could be right with them maybe looking at getting Barnes back in that closer role. He had a great end of the 2022 season. All right, Chad, I'm getting yelled at. It's been an hour and I have... it has been... an hour and a half. Oops, sorry. Don't come at me with that. Don't come at me with that, Griffin. Don't do it. Will Bogaerts mentor of Volpe? Ugh. Let me know when you guys are back from ads. If you guys are back, because I had to run an ad because YouTube was yelling at me now that I'm in this sort of... I forget what it's called. Got to give Heim a fair shot. Forced to trade Mookie. Year 2, COVID. Year 3, hey. 2022 was a great season. Or 2021. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that, SpongeBob. Again, I'm not saying I'm all in. On also Griffin, I got your message. Yeah, I'll let you know on that. By the way. I just don't want to be on my phone too much when we're on live stream. Also, I'm getting a ton of Twitter notifications. I wonder if something's happening, chat. I Wonder if something is happening. Great ad. I'm sorry. I don't know. Hopefully you guys didn't get anything wild. But yeah, I've been getting yelled at. I've been putting enough ads on my stuff. I hate doing that. But helps pays the bills. It's loading, chat. Give me a second. All right, I got 3 notifications here. What do we got? Sammy. We got something from Chris Cotillo. It's about the royal couple. Oh my god. Stop getting me excited for this stuff. Laser show for hitting coach. That'd be beautiful. Beautiful. The Mets Devers storyline is a perfect example of the sort of nonsense that dominates the offseason. Yeah. 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 I've seen a lot of people saying like I hate the offseason narratives. People need to stop tweeting out every scoop they get. And that's true, and it is annoying, but at the same time too, like, that's their job. That is their job, to go out and get scoops and put them out. Are they always going to be correct? No. 95% of the time they're wrong. But it's their job to do that, and it gives us something to talk about. I don't want to sit on my thumbs for 4 months before something actually happens. So I appreciate you following me, Daniel. That was definitely one of the notifications that I got. Yeah, sorry. I got everyone excited. I got 3 notifications. I thought it was something. I do think that if we, obviously I'm not going to be on here till like midnight, but I think there's a chance that something happens within the next 2 days. I'm hoping. I'd love to get a video reacting to something happen. Future Sox, Devers, Rafaela, Reynolds, Devers, Meyer, Story, Casas, McGuire. That seems ideal. It just depends on it. Rafaela, in my opinion, is real hit or miss. That's a guy who could be real high or real low. Johnny, I don't need that in my chat. Who becomes their outfielder and DH? Who? The Red Sox? I don't know. Heim should be fired. He can't sign homegrown talent. Yeah, because Heim Bloom was the reason that John Lester didn't get signed, or Mookie Betts didn't get signed, or Clay Buchholz drifted away, right? Like, we've had such a long history of not being able to sign homegrown talent. It didn't start with Heim Bloom. As for Devers being traded, if you get the right price, no, we're not playing this game. Why are we playing this game? Going live throughout the whole winter meetings? You're bound to get something to happen during that period, I hope. Yeah. My girlfriend would kill me, though, if I went live every day during the winter meetings. Plus, I would love to make YouTube videos about it. MLB offseason, the most boring offseason out of the NBA, NFL, and MLB. Yeah. Well, it's because it's because it's the longest. That's the only reason. And there's a period of signing for every other sport, which is why why it's so long here. There's no legitimate free agent signing period. You can sign a free agent whenever you want. Who's your prediction for the everyday DH for 2023? I'd go Mitch Haniger. I think they'll be in on Mitch Haniger. Rev Snyder's better than Ellsbury. Ellsbury was a machine when he was here. I'm taking a look at what we got, chat. Everyone keeps saying the Yankees plan B is Xander Bogaerts. I don't know if that's entirely true. I'm looking to see, chat. I'm still looking. We got nothing. Cordero's better than Ellsbury? No. Honestly, John Lester's the one that hurts the most. Yeah, the John Lester one sucks. If anyone heard his interview with Carabas, he did, what was that, back about 2 years ago maybe, where he talked about how much he just wanted to stay with the Red Sox, and when they traded him away, how much it hurt and how it just soiled everything he thought about this Red Sox organization. It scares you a little bit. Because I've said this before with the Xander stuff, but I don't think enough people, and not that enough people truly do, but one of the things that always bothers me now about some baseball fans is that everything has to be analytical, right? And obviously, again, statistics are a fantastic way of judging. They are the way of judging how well a player performs. But with certain players like a John Lester, like a Mookie Betts, like a Xander Bogaerts, their stats, while fantastic and while they mean so much to their performance, what they do in a clubhouse, how they lead on a field, what they do during clutch moments, how much they mean to a fan base and an organization matter as well. Baseball's one of the few sports where you truly get sort of, when you're watching the Red Sox year in and year out, you are watching these guys, these 9 guys, essentially, right? Obviously, there are going to be people who come in and out, but you're watching these 9 guys play, if you include spring training and if they make the playoffs, for half the year, right? You are bound to grow some sort of emotional attachment to these players. And I feel like that gets lost in translation sometimes. It's okay to get emotional and get attached to the players you are watching in your living rooms, in your car, on your phone for half the year, right? They start to become like family. So yes, unlike any other sport, baseball to me, and the reason why baseball is so romanticized in movies and in TV, and it's called such a romantic sport, is because you genuinely do. You feel like these players are a part of your family. And I think, we saw it today with a lot of this Xander stuff where people were like, look, just keep a level head. This is going to boil over. And they were right. And that is correct. But at the same time, too, it's okay. It's okay for you to see something about the Xander cutting off ties with the Red Sox and getting emotional and being upset or being worried or feeling your heart drop or your stomach turn, right? It's okay to do that because baseball is emotional. And I have said that before. I have said that before because I think it's important for people to remember. And obviously, again, it's great. One of the best things about baseball, and the reason it stands alone for me, is because you have that marriage between hard analytics and being able to look at so many, and having all these opportunities to look at so many different just insights into how a player performs, as well as the marriage between statistics and truly emotionally connecting with these players, even though you've never met them before. It's what makes baseball so beautiful. Glad I got that off my chest. I was going to tweet that, but I was like, man, that is too long. So I'm glad someone brought something up. And I don't remember what it was. It was Jack. Jack, you sent me on a tangent yet again. Thank you. MLB free agency isn't that boring in my opinion. It goes fast. Yeah, you're right. Amen. It's just sort of the waiting part to begin with. What do I think the 2023 Red Sox record's going to be? What's up, Gamerson? 1 and 2, I don't know yet. It's too hard to tell right now. Trade for Ian and Happ for right field and bring in Josh Bell for DH. That would be a great yeah, that would be a great addition. Both of those guys would be great additions to this team. I'd be very down for that. What would you do at catcher? Do you think we could sign Wilson Contreras? I think we could. I don't know if we will. What would I do at catcher? I would sort of let it be for now. Let's see how the market shapes up and see if we can bring in someone. Who's going to be the first big name to sign from now to the end of winter meetings? I still think it's going to be Jacob deGrom. Yeah, Fisk. See, there's just so many guys. What's up, Echo? Welcome in. Do you have your Xander and Devers crying towel yet? I do. Re-signing Xander appeals to the human part of baseball, homegrown. He did the FO a solid by taking a pay cut last extension. He's won 2 titles, a captain, a mentor to a cornerstone. Yeah, 100%. It soiled his view on the Red Sox in 2014, but he damn sure would have signed if the Red Sox offered him a 1-year deal. Yeah, I agree with that too, Amen. With John Lester. How can he not be romantic about baseball? Exactly. Yes, Jack. I love that's what I love about baseball is that there has to be a marriage between the two. What's up, Edgar? Chemistry and leadership are not qualities you put a price on. That's why homegrown guys hurt. Being like go is 100%, Robbie. That's another part of it too, SpongeBob. Yeah. You need to be able to show free agents that, hey, look, we want to win. We're trying to win. That's why we're keeping the guys that are cornerstones on this team right now. Everybody in this group chat go to the first game versus the Pirates. What do you mean? That was a nice quote. Thanks. Thanks. What do you think about the Rays being in on DeGrom? Well, I doubt it happens. That would suck. Oh, man, that would be brutal. That would be brutal. Brutal. I think what it means is I don't know who represents Jacob DeGrom, but I could also see the Rays being like, hey, man, like, look, we were some pitching depth away. We had some bad injuries. Maybe we'll take a chance on you. We'll give you $27 million a year for 1-year deals. Prove you can stay healthy, and then release you back into the market. I don't know if the Rays are being like, hey, let me give you 6 years. Let me give you $35 million a year. I don't think the Rays are doing that. I would assume the Rays are just checking bases, honestly. How do I think the rule changes are going to affect the game? I think there are going to be a lot more steals. I think that's going to be the biggest thing we realized in with these rule changes. I think there are going to be a lot more steals, and I think the games are going to be noticeably shorter. I don't know if they're going to feel that much shorter. I think they're going to feel more action packed, which will be nice. Will Chris Sale be effective for next season? Yeah, I think he'll be more effective than he's been since 2019. I'll get my Magic 8 ball out and tell you how next year will turn out. Yeah. Billy Bean and Theo Epstein became famous through finding value in the market in this offseason. Is there any value left? I struggle to find it. I mean, there are some guys who I think will go under the radar for sure. For sure. I think there are guys who can who aren't going to sign huge contracts who will be benefits to a team. They're not going to be all-stars or anything like that. But yeah, I think there are a few guys out there that could be like that. I think you're right. The depth in this free agent class is very slim. You think we make a big trade this year? I do. I think we do. I don't know what you qualify as a big trade, but I think we do. Yeah. Gotta go. Get ready for dinner. All right, SpongeBob. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the conversation. Hope to see you soon. Yeah, no, DeGrom's not playing for the Rays. Will you be okay with the Red Sox trading top 10 prospects? Yeah, I actually, not that I want them to get rid of some high-end guys. I want them to be able to get rid of some of those high-end guys. I want them to be able to pick out a select few of that top 10, and maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, and be like, look, these are the guys who we think are going to make a legitimate impact on this Red Sox team. These guys are untouchable. Everyone else, let's use as a bit of a trade chip to go out and let's get some legit MLB ready talent and sell these prospects that we do not think are going to be legitimate impact players on this team. That's what I would love to see. This is my new favorite YouTube channel. Dennis, that means the world to me. Thank you. How would you feel about Conforto on a 1-year prove-it deal with the Red Sox? I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it at all. We all got to go to game 1 versus the Pirates and promote this channel. The day I see a red seat radio, if someone in the crowd's wearing this hat, or maybe they got one of my shirts or sweatshirts on, will be the day that I am truly like, wow, we're kind of doing something big here. That'll be the craziest day of my life. Cordero will be missed. I will miss Cordero in my own way. Would you rather see the Rays in a new state-of-the-art stadium in downtown Tampa? Would you rather see them completely move to another city and state? I guess it depends on the city and state, I guess. Right? Tennessee wanted one. I think that would be kind of cool to have a baseball team in Tennessee. But I hate the Trop. I have no problem with the Rays. But yeah, I hate Tropicana Field. So I think I'd go with a state-of-the-art stadium. What are the DH choices for the Red Sox this offseason? Good question, Jake. They have so they could go out and they could get a legitimate DH, which they looked like they tried to do with Jose Abreu. They could go out and get a guy who is mostly a DH but does have some versatility on the field. Or there's a third option where they don't get any legitimate DHs. They get a guy and a good everyday player that doesn't fit in within this roster, and they rotate everybody, which I could see the Red Sox doing. So there are three options there. I don't know, Lionel. We'll see. When we promote this channel, Corbin has the power. When Corbin has the power, he can get closer to Heim. Then my brilliant idea is to build a World Series team. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If this channel ever got into any sort of power in the Red Sox organization, we'd never be able to get anything done. We would never be able to get anything done. My name's Corbin Salem, and I appreciate your kind words. Thank you. The only good rule change is the shift band. I like the pitch clock. I don't really understand. I mean, I understand the move for bigger bases. I don't really understand the pickoff limits. There are a couple that I don't understand. Most of them I understand the reasoning behind, and I don't hate all of them. Will the Red Sox win more than 85 games? That depends on the moves, my friend. That depends on the moves. I think Rafael is a goner. His value is as high as it's ever been. Yeah, I would agree. I think Rafael, if we're talking top 5 prospects, yeah. Ari said, thank you for your kind words, Salem. Would you trade Marcelo? It'd have to be for someone insane. Like, if you're going to package Marcelo for, and obviously they're not going to trade him, but Ohtani, I would package up Marcelo for. Yeah, I don't know. It'd have to be someone huge. That's the idea of versatility, but we haven't gotten there yet. We need to develop the minor leagues before we can start signing minor league guys, right? Favorite broadcaster of all time in the Major League Baseball? Don Orsillo. I love him. Rays moved to Tennessee. I'd get to see the Sox a lot more. Would be nice. Be cool. I would rather the A's move than the Rays. I would agree with that. I think the A's are in such a bad situation there in Oakland. That place is terrible. A couple of people asking if I would sign Bellinger. I would not. I just I think he can get to back to league average production. The problem is I don't know if Boston's the right spot for him to start doing that. I just don't think so. So I would stay away from Bellinger unless you can get him on a real team friendly deal. Rays go to Charlotte, North Carolina. That'd be an interesting place for the Rays to go too. Western Canada, never heard from again. Swear to God, it's the fastest growing channel on YouTube. We're getting there, man. We're building a great community here. I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish together. AR, I agree. I think there are certain games that are fantastic when it's like a 3 hour game. It started at 7. It's 10:30 going on 11, and you're in the bottom of the 8th inning, 2-3 with the bases loaded. Then yeah, I love that sort of ending to a game. But there are games where it's 7-1, 6-2, and it's like, oh man, towards the ninth inning, you're like, okay. I would package Marcelo for either Otani or Alcantara. Yeah, I do Alcantara too. But yeah, it's a very short list as to who Marcelo should be on the board for. Will Casas be our everyday first baseman for the Red Sox? Should we go out and trade for or get a free agent in the offseason? I think for the most part, I would tend to say Casas is going to start as our everyday first baseman. I think they saw a lot of great things out of him, a lot of stuff to look forward to. Um, yeah, but they definitely, last year, a lot of people were excited, including myself, about Bobby Dahlbeck's progress in 2022 or 2021, and then we saw what happened with him in 2022. I don't think the Red Sox are going to want to do that again, so I could see the Red Sox signing maybe not a big name first baseman, but someone that could plug in. Yeah. Yeah, Daniel, it's gonna be real hard for the Red Sox to get Murphy. If they truly want him, they have to be all in though. Would I trade for Pablo Lopez? Yes. I'm all in for trading for the Japanese Babe Ruth. Yeah, I don't think anyone would be a fan or be opposed to that. Yeah, it's not a Rays problem. You're right. Um, it's a stadium problem. It's a marketing problem, and if they can get that, so the fans love these epic games, but the management hates to see a bullpen decimated by a mundane game in May. Yeah, I can't imagine they're too excited about it. The pickoff rule is absolutely terrible because if you reach that limit, you know that they are stealing. Not necessarily, right? If you pick off Rafael Devers, I forget what the actual limit is, but you pick off Rafael Devers 4 times, I don't think he's stealing on the fifth pitch. Depends on the guy. It makes your pickoff attempts, and as opposed to just I need to break up the pace of this game. I'm going to throw to first. It makes it mean something, which is a good thing, right? Every movement in baseball has always meant something. There's always a game within a game, and with pickoffs, it just makes that game more intense. Yeah, Dahlbeck was crushing. Akiko coming in saying he forgot how to play baseball. That one hurt me. I thought for sure. I thought for sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Yoshida's market looks like. He's a guy who does have the potential to have a lot of power. So I don't know. I don't know what his market's going to look like. It'd be an interesting guy for the Red Sox to take a look at for sure. Is Senga a realistic option for the Red Sox, or are there too many teams that want him? I think he's still a realistic option. If the third attempt doesn't get the guy out, it's a balk. Interesting. So it's like a 3 strike you're out rule. Interesting. Did you predict foreseeing the results of this season as far as our performance went? No, I did not. I actually thought they were going to be good this year. Eric, don't do this to me. I'm not answering your question. I'm simply not answering that question. But it'll be a pitcher, I would assume. Do I like the more? Do you like the more balanced schedule? Yeah, I love the more balanced schedule. I love the idea. It makes sense, right? You have the longest season in any professional sport. Why aren't you playing every single team? It makes a lot of sense. Do you have a favorite game that comes to mind in 22 from the 22 playoffs? Mine was that Mariners game, Wild 8-1 comeback, Seattle wins. That one was intense. Oh god, there were a ton of really good games. The Jordan Alvarez walk off against was that against the oops sorry was that against the Yankees? No, I don't think that was. That was against who they play first. That was the Mariners, right? They walked off against the Mariners. That was an intense game. I love that game. But yeah, that Mariners one has to be up there. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Ryan. Is it just sort of I don't know if sorry, I'll get back to you in a second, Ryan. I just got distracted by Jeff. Better draw if Rays move to Tampa. They already are in Tampa though. Oh, I see what you mean. Move into the city more. Right. But no, I don't think they've had an All-Star game though. No. But yeah, I agree. Again, it makes every pickoff attempt super meaningful. Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Adam Davis. It makes it more meaningful. Do I like the additions of Joely? Is it Joely? Joely Rodriguez and Hoyt Park. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of middle of the road. I think Joely has the potential to have way more of an impact than Hoyt Park. But I think at the end of the day, both are sort of depth pieces that we need to fill out the rotation with, or sorry, the roster with. I don't think either of them are going to be mainstays on this Red Sox team. So, I mean, I'm happy about them. I'm not excited. Does that make sense? Yeah, I agree, Peter. That has to be something that they're looking back on, not trading Dahlbeck and not trading Duran and really relying on those guys to step it up in 2021 or 2022 as sort of a misstep. Have to. The Sox under Bloom don't draft pitchers. They only draft shortstops. Most of the league only drafts shortstops for the first couple rounds, if you notice. If you go through the top couple of picks, they're either pitchers or shortstops. And the reason for that versatility is not because you need a huge depth at shortstop, is because generally, right, when you were playing Little League, when you were playing high school ball, who was the most athletic player on the field? It was the shortstop. The best player on your team was always the shortstop. That's why all the best players in the draft, at least position-wise, are usually shortstops because they were the best players on their respective teams. Now, that does not mean that they are going to spend their entire minor league career as a shortstop. Guess what? Jacob deGrom was a shortstop, right? Now he's one of the league's and one of the game's best pitchers. You're not taking a shortstop to be a shortstop. You're taking the shortstop because he's the most athletic person on that team. And then you can figure out where to best fit him in with the rest of the league, right? Mookie Betts was drafted as a second baseman, right? Kind of not a shortstop, but at the same time, too, you're talking about that middle infield. Jarren Duran was at one point a second baseman. Rafael Cedane Rafaela was drafted as a shortstop, right? So there's a lot you can do with shortstop, and that's the reason they go after shortstops as opposed to going after, hey, let's get a power hitting third baseman most of the time, right? There's a possibility, Gamerson, but like I said, I don't know if the Red Sox and Boston's the best spot for Cody Bellinger to rehab. Looking forward to playing the NL far more often. I do too. It'd be awesome. Boston playing the Diamondbacks. That's gonna be interesting. You think Matt Strom is coming back to the Red Sox? I would say yeah. I would say yeah. He's coming back to the Red Sox. Hold on, chat. I have confidence the Red Sox will get Aaron Judge. If the Red Sox get Aaron Judge, I will make a video specifically highlighting Craig being the man to do it. To brace the odds, to be the man that no one else wanted to be. Craig, I will give you an entire video if the Red Sox sign him. When will the Red Sox make their first real move in the offseason or meet with their first big name player? I think it'll be soon. I think it'll be within the next couple of weeks that we get their first, like, outside. Are you talking about? Yeah. With new larger bases, Duran might steal bags at an epic rate. Why do you folks give up so quickly? Because he has to get on base to steal bags, and he can't get on base right now. I think Duran still has the potential to be a good player. I just don't know if he can do it in Boston. Give me your top 5 Red Sox players in the last 20 years. 20 years is a long time, huh? David Ortiz, Dustin Pedroia. This is my favorite, right? Or top 5 best? Dennis, are you talking top 5 best or just my favorite? Strom says he wants to be a starter somewhere. I don't think he comes back. Yeah, but apparently he has no starting pitching market. No one wants to take a chance on that. So I'm going to say he does come back on a relief pitcher deal. Hey, Corbin, good thing I could make it. The Bogaerts situation is nerve-wracking. Hopefully we can re-sign him. If you would like, you can pull up my channel and play MLB The Show and play my MLB free agency prediction. I'll take a look, Nathan. But yeah, it is very nerve-wracking for sure. Does Whitlock become a number one starter? I don't think he becomes a number one starter this year. No, I think he has the potential to be by the end of the year a 2-3 caliber player, but I don't think he's an ace to end the year. No. Do I have a Super Bowl prediction this last stretch of the regular season? Man, that's a hard question considering I don't follow football super closely. I'm going to go Eagles-Bills. I don't know why. I like it. What about Christian Vasquez? There was talk he could come back and re-sign. I just don't see it happening, honestly. Unless they kind of fall into it. I don't think so. Okay, your top five favorite. Your top five favorite, the top 5 players in the last 20 years that you truly enjoyed watching the most myself. I'm not going to look at anyone else because I don't want them to influence it. I'm going to look down. I'm going to go David Ortiz, Dustin Pedroia, Kevin Youkilis, Xander Bogaerts. I love watching Devers. I'm going to put Devers. There you go. David Ortiz, Dustin Pedroia, Kevin Youkilis, Xander Bogaerts. Wait, no. Yeah. And then Rafael Devers. Yeah, I'm hoping winter meetings really shakes things up. I might honestly wait to make another video until like Sunday maybe. Or maybe we'll do Friday and hope that something happens because when does free agent period actually, or not free agent, when does winter meetings actually start? I hate when it does this. 4th through the 7th, so what's that? Friday through Sunday through Monday. Friday through Monday. So yeah, I might hold off on making a video for a little bit. How can they justify Judge? They just spent all that money on Story bringing back Xander. After that, where does the money come from? Yeah, I don't think they can justify Judge. What's up, Justin? Welcome in, Grandstand. Daniel, it starts Sunday. I got December 4th through the 7th. I have no idea. I mean, they're all there now, right? So anything can happen at any time. Yes, the official start maybe this weekend, but they're all there. I don't know. People are leaving out Pedro. I know, that's on me. I was kind of young to see like the full scope of Pedro Martinez. So to me, he's sort of a legend. He's not like a integral part of my childhood, which is sad to say. Mookie, yeah, I had Mookie on there, I think. Didn't I? Yeah, I had Mookie on there. Do you think, what do I think about Jose Abreu going to the Astros? I mean, it just makes him an absolute powerhouse. It's ridiculous. What would I do if Wilson Contreras went to the Astros? Pray they get knocked out before we play him in the playoffs. I'm wicked late because of work, but Bogey def leaving after these reports. I think it makes it less likely, but I don't think it's def leaving. No, a lot of these the reports too are a lot of it. I would say 95% of it is from the Boris Corp there doing what they do. Sox signed Senga. Sign Xander, put that to bed, spend on power hitting outfielder and legit closer. I mean, yeah, that's the ideal offseason. That's everything they need, Yeah. They didn't say that the Yankees have come out and said that Xander Bogaerts is their plan B. They've said that it would be interesting if the Yankees decide that. And you know what? You know what? You know who that's from? That's from John Heyman. You know what John Heyman's known for? Being a mouthpiece for Scott Boras. You know what Scott Boras is doing right now? Making every other team in the league seem to be in on Xander Bogaerts. Why? Because the Boston Red Sox want to get Xander Bogaerts back, and they need pressure to up their offers. That's what Scott Boras does, and that's why the Yankees are being mentioned so hard with Xander Bogaerts. Sox have more than enough money to pay Xander and Devers, yeah. But either way, like I said before, a lot of people got in here is when we're looking at the Xander Bogaerts thing, right? We're looking at an entirely new concept for Red Sox fans. I don't think Mookie Betts was a Boris client. I don't remember, but he never even reached free agency with us. Yeah, no. Mookie Betts wasn't even one. I just, yeah, we've never had to truly deal with a Scott Boras homegrown free agent, right? We saw the Astros deal with it. We've seen a lot of people sort of deal with it, and it's just sort of like we as a Red Sox fan base have never had to deal with that, and that's why we're taking everything we see immediately as this is what's happening, and that's just sort of how it goes. Pedro turned the culture around in Boston. He was a force, not to mention he was an influence that brought Ortiz here. You could say, oh, of course, yes. Pedro Martinez was a huge reason why the Red Sox won the 2004 World Series. No, trust me, I'm not trying to deny Pedro Martinez's legacy. Yes, I fully agree with you. You know, Pedro Martinez is probably in the top 5, 10 pitchers in baseball history, right? I'm not trying to say anything bad about Pedro. No. I just didn't put him on my personal favorite people to watch um because I just haven't really I didn't never really had the chance to watch him in his prime with the Red Sox. That's all. I'm with you, Nate. I still have faith that the Red Sox re-sign Xander. Sox Twitter is an absolute shambles. Yeah. Yeah, Sox Twitter is a disaster. It has been for a while, you're right. But it's getting even worse now, you know. Yeah. Twitter. I have to put down. I love Twitter. I think it's a great place to grow a community, and that's why it's like the one social media that I've been really focusing on because I feel like with YouTube you kind of have the similar. You're essentially doing longer TikToks, and then Instagram's to me. I hate Instagram, so I've been doing Instagram, but um I love Twitter. The problem is you're right. You have so many people who, which is totally fair, have knee jerk reactions. Um, and it ends up just blowing up. Yeah, listen. Most teams are owned by groups who own multiple sports teams. It's just how the world works. I'm not too worried about this whole they own other sports teams thing. Problem is the Red Sox lowball players and they get sick of it. Yeah, it seems to be. I don't know if it's a strictly Red Sox thing, but they do like to give their players the lowest possible option in hopes that they sign it, and then they never do. I don't understand that. I really don't. What makes Corbin thinks Devers stays? I think because they throw a giant bag of cash at him. I think they know what happens if he leaves, and so they throw a giant bag of cash at him. Best Red Sox closer, Folk Pop. Pap or Koji. Koji was the most statistically, and not even just statistically, he was insane. I think Koji in 2013 is almost unbeatable, almost completely unbeatable. I think Xander and Devers are a package deal. Xander goes, Devers won't resign. I think it depends on how the Red Sox handle Xander's situation. Um, yeah. I think if the Red Sox are like, look, Xander, we're gonna give you as much as we possibly can, and Xander still goes to another team. Koji was not a horrible reliever. I don't know what you're talking about. He was literally one of the main reasons they won the 2013 World Series. Um, but yeah, I think if the Red Sox are like, the Padres are offering 6 years, 27 million a year, and the Red Sox are like, hey Xander, we'll give you 5 years, 24 million a year. Then yeah, they're gonna be pissed. What happened to the old Red Sox who were spending money and were in it to win it? Let me ask you something, Jake. Which one of our big money guys worked out? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where the Koji as a horrible reliever is. Because I understand the old Red Sox take. I understand paying for players. I get that. But you're talking about what? David Price, I would say that kind of worked out, right? Pablo Sandoval was a disaster. Hanley Ramirez wasn't great. Brandon Crawford was terrible. Um, that's just off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of other big name guys. John Lackey, right? Like yes, the Red Sox spent money, but they didn't all work out. Manny Ramirez, yeah, that's a good okay, yep, that's a good example. Right? But you're looking at the big name guys, you're looking at a smaller percentage that worked out than a percentage that didn't work out, right? So why would the Red Sox year in and year out buy these guys and have them just not perform well and still throw money at people? It doesn't make sense. You have to start being smart about where you spend your money. Yes, they should still spend money. Yes, it's still the Boston Red Sox and they have the ability to spend that money. But no, they should not just throw money at every big name guy and get them here because it probably doesn't work out. Who replaces Devers and Bogarts if they both leave? No one. No one. Sale is another. Yeah. Yeah, I would say Sale. But Sale was traded for, and then we gave a big contract too. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Sale. I think extending Sale didn't work out. I think getting Sale here was a success. They've rarely done huge contracts, even Ortiz. Yeah, Ortiz's max deal was what, 4 or 5 years? So it's not like this is a new thing for the Red Sox. It's just it's more enlightened because we used to not get these super homegrown big name talent guys. But now it's you have these big name talent guys that are leaving, right? Before in the past there wasn't a ton of these homegrown guys. Biggest letdown team of the last 10 years, Yankees or Dodgers? It has to be the Dodgers. It has to be. The Yankees have had some great teams and they probably should have done well multiple times, but the Dodgers, winning all those games, setting an MLB record for the most games won in a 160 game season. It has to be the Dodgers. Only being able to win in a Mickey Mouse season, even though I think I still give them the championship for that. Do I think the Red Sox regret signing Trevor Story? No, not at all. No, no. Story will be great. Yeah, he'll have a fantastic season. Panda and Crawford, yeah. I mean, those are names that live in infamy for how bad of a contract they were. The Lakers is a perfect example of what happens when you want to throw big money into big names, but the synergy nor the player development isn't there and you get the results. Yeah, there needs to be a balance, right? There needs to be a balance, just like in life. There needs to be a balance in just about everything. If you go into an offseason and are like, hey, let's just throw money at all the best players in the league, and sometimes that works out, but hey, who are the two teams that have thrown the money at the big name players and gotten them on their team the last 2 years? It's been the Dodgers and the Mets. How'd they do in the postseason? How'd they do? It wasn't great. Aaron Judge, $340 million Crawford, has a Carl Crawford feel. Exactly. Yeah. Mickey Mouse ring jokes make Dodgers fans so mad. Yeah, they do. Adrian Gonzalez extension was pretty good. Yeah, that one was a good extension, but again, yeah, he didn't like playing in Boston. Remember when he was blaming the Red Sox on being bad for making God mad or something? Remember that? Like it didn't end up working out. Dodgers at least had good vibes all regular season. They fell off the same way the Yankees did in the playoffs, but with the Yankees, everyone saw it coming. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the Dodgers are a weird case, man. I can't figure them out. Dodgers like the Green Bay Packers. It's crazy that Aaron Rodgers does not have at least 3 or 4 Super Bowls. So many wasted opportunities. Yeah, yeah, but Mike Napoli wasn't a huge contract. What was Mike Napoli's Red Sox contract? I think it was just a 1 year. I'm trying to type with one hand. It's not going well. Yeah, it was a 1 year, $1.75 million. No. That's not right. Hold on, I'm looking. It's not going to tell me. Is it going to tell me under career earnings? There we go. Yeah, so he made 16 million. Yeah, but that was after he did well in 2013. I don't know. I just think if anyone remembers the 2012 going to 2013 season, I feel like this offseason will be like that. Napoli, Victorino, they got 3 for 39. I could see that. Yeah. Yeah, no, Mike Napoli was not signed to be a catcher. He was signed to be a DH home run hitter. Yeah, the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers losing. What did I do with my water bottle? Oh, the Dodgers losing was ridiculous. Victorino declined too. Yeah, but they won a World Series. Victorino had a huge grand slam. Mike Napoli was pretty instrumental in that World Series run. Plus, we got to see this. Plus, we got to see this Mike Napoli. Plus, we got to see that Mike Napoli. And that is well worth. That is well worth a contract. That was well worth a contract, man. That 2013 team, man, was so fun. Like, look at these two. Look at these two just messing around. Let's see if I can. Let's bring us back to happier times, Chad. It's so much harder when I type with one hand. I mean, come on, Chad. What are we doing here? Huh? This is what the Red Sox. This is what the Red Sox are going to look like in 2013. No one's going to think they can do it. They're going to rally behind Xander Bogaerts. They're going to do it. Was it Cody Ross, Daniel? Was it Ross? Was it Gomes? Well, let's take a look at the team. Let's see if we can recognize anybody. That's not fast. Buckholes in the background. That picture, that's wild. Watch highlights. I don't know. I think I might get banned if I watch highlights. Although if it's on YouTube, I don't know. No, Cody Ross was on the 2013 World Series team. It's Cody Ross right there. Let me get a better picture. Why can't I find a better picture of them celebrating? There we go. Is there an organization in MLB that you respect the most in terms of how they develop players, spend on free agent, make productive trades, and produce on the field? Yeah. It's the Houston Astros. It's the Houston Astros. They're insane. Every pitcher that comes in there is absolutely nuts. Although they don't really, they do, but they're selective, right? They do spend on free agents, but they're selective about it. Every team in Major League Baseball has to be trying to look like the Houston Astros. Has to be. Nava. Oh, that's right, Daniel Nava. Oh my God. No. Cody. Isn't this Cody Ross? Am I going crazy, Chad? This is Cody Ross, right? The catcher? This is yeah. I'm not going nuts, right? Which players in the last couple of years, let's say as far back as 2010s, are the ones that got traded to the Red Sox that you were actually genuinely unhappy with the situation that got traded? David Ross. I always get those two confused. Sorry, Daniel. Sorry, Daniel. That's on me. David Ross. Well, now who's Cody Ross? I need to hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay. Dude, those, like the players from, I'm so bad at remembering players' names. Yes, David Ross. Okay. I'm so bad at remembering players' names. I'm terrible at it, actually. Remember about the Astros, though? They had the worst record for a better part of a decade, gave them top. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, but that's the game plan there is modeling what it should look like. Yeah, Cody Ross was a beast in 2012. I always just figured he was on the 2013 team now. Oh man, I'm so bad with player names, Chad. Don't ask me Red Sox. Don't ask me Red Sox trivia. I'll know who you're talking about. I'll just never know. Bogart's going to Dombrowski? I don't think so. I think going to Dombrowski? No. I think no. I think the Phillies go after Trey Turner pretty hard. This is a band-aid, by the way, chat. We didn't have band-aids in my house. Man, I was really hoping we get some news, chat. I was really hoping we get some interesting news. I don't know if they'll be looking for a first baseman, JN. I think they'll run Torkelson out again, see kind of how he does. Will the Red Sox use Hoy Park or will he be long gone off the roster by the beginning of the season? I think he'll stay on there. I think he'll be sort of a quadruple A player. Yeah, let's do that. Let's give him Hosmer and I'll take all the Detroit Tigers relievers. I like that idea. Let's do that. Did you map? No, I just sliced it. I sliced it on a knife making dinner. Might shift Torque to third base. I mean, yeah, whatever. Marcelo should DH. Yeah, he's too young for that. He's too young for that. All right, chat. I'm going to take a quick look at how we're doing on Twitter. See if there's any sort of news. If there isn't, Soto would be pretty good. Oh, there's some news, chat. There's going to be an influx of $1 billion into the MLB because of its stake in the streaming video company. MLB is selling the remaining stake of its streaming video company to Disney for $900 million. Interesting. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. It's just a little cut. After the Rule 5 draft, will it pick up? I think it picks up soon. I think it'll pick up in the next 24 hours, honestly. Probably won't make a video tomorrow. I'll probably wait till Friday in hopes that something happens. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything crazy's happening here. Lou Merlone had a take. I don't know. I can't play this. I got to figure out how to be able to play clips on here with the videos. Was it your trade video that had Hosmer to the Royals for Barlow possibly reunion with Kansas City would waive him in a package? I should say for Barlow. I had him rumored to be in there, I think. And I think when you're looking at the Kansas City Royals too, that's a team that I would assume Hosmer would approve of, right? Going back to Kansas City, finishing his career out in Kansas City where he's beloved. I could 100% see that being a spot where Eric Hosmer says, yeah, let's go home. Plus for the Kansas City Royals, right? You get some good PR. You get some good stuff by just for paying no money. None. You're paying what, $770K a year? That's something I could definitely see. Mike Zunino, definitely a realistic pickup for us for sure. There's a very limited catcher market though, so I could see it being fairly competitive. I hate when MLB does top 100 plays and just throws a normal home run in there. They're going to have some weird stuff in the MLB top 100. They always do. There's always some weird stuff in there. They like to mess around. Why did Santana sign with the Pirates? He probably didn't have that great of a market. The Pirates probably offered him. I mean, what did he get? $7 million? That's probably more than what any other team would offer him. So that's why he signed with the Pirates. In your prediction video, I picked Zunino to go to us. Not a bad pick. 10, 15 years ago, it seems like a majority of free agent moves came in November. Yeah, because they realize now that, hey, if we just wait it out, more teams become interested, people start throwing their hat in the ring, and we end up with more money. Of course they're going to wait longer, right? Although, I think there's a good and bad with that too, because then you start to see like a Freddie Freeman situation where the team you really want to, the team that you're sort of playing hardball with to try and get that just a little bit more. Just give me that one more year, Atlanta, Or look, the Dodgers are knocking on my door. you get to a point there, if you hold out for too long, the Januaries, the Februaries, where, just like we saw with the Atlanta Braves, they went, okay, man, like, look, we can't have this coming back and forth stuff. It's just not going to happen. And then they move on. So I think the sweet spot for MLB free agents, big MLB free agents, is towards the end of December, right towards Christmas, and right after Christmas, right after the new year. I think that's sort of the sweet spot there, because you're not too early in there. You can sort of shop yourself around, make sure you're getting the best deal, but you're also not too late where you're going to miss out on stuff because people don't want you to, they don't want you to hold out for too long and then lose out on you. So we'll see. Yeah, the Yankees definitely do have a spare catcher. That is for sure. All right, chat. Well, I think we covered just about everything today, chat. That was just to sum it all up, today was the day that the base. Yes. Yeah. This is a year where you want to sign people quickly. You're right. Yeah. So Chad, I think we covered just about everything. I don't want to go on too long. Yeah, I think we had a ton of fun today. We talked about a ton of different stuff. I love talking to you guys. I love getting on here and being able to have legitimate conversations with you guys. I appreciate that, Jake. Appreciate that. That means a lot. I appreciate everyone. I think we had a ton of great conversations. Look out. I'll probably not put a video out tomorrow. It'll probably be Friday, because my hope is that tomorrow we get something. I think there will be some movement within the next 24 hours. A little birdie telling me. So we'll see. We'll see. But until then, guys, thank you for everything. Thank you, Jacob, for your donation. Thank you to everyone. If you're listening right now or watching and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. What, Griffin? What, Griffin? Do we have some breaking news before we end this? I'm not ending this until he oh. Nope. Okay, we're good. All right, everyone. I appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you